What's up, everybody? This is Jube from Section 122, ArgosEndzone.com, getting you ready for Week 6 action as the Argos are on the road into Montreal. Coming off the week where nothing really happened on Toronto's side of things, although Montreal did fire their head coach after 5 games. That's what happens when you have no CFL experience. You don't mesh with the first ballot Hall of Famer Anthony Calvillo. Hey, who knew? But what about the Argos' last home game? Amazing performance against the BC Lions. All of the experts said that the Argos had to play a perfect game and still may not be able to beat the BC Lions. 38-12. That's with a backup running back, a backup quarterback, a backup deep threat. It was so much fun to watch. I gotta tell you, shout out to Khalif Mitchell, put on a hell of a show on the defensive line. I think it was 2 sacks on the game. Terribly disruptive. Offensive side of things, you don't have to go any farther than the quarterback, Zach Collaros. What a performance. 3 touchdowns. And I tell you, Adam Bighill is going to have nightmares about this guy. He must have got his hands on him 7 times. Only came in with the 2 sacks. Great performance. Keeping plays alive with his legs, looking downfield, not giving up on plays. It was a lot of fun. And speaking of fun, what an atmosphere in the Dome. It was fantastic. End of the first half, BC with 3 consecutive penalties on offense that I gotta put a little bit of credit in the hands of the Argos fans. When you start getting penalties on procedure and delay a game, when you can't get the play off, let's just face it, the fans are making enough noise to make it awkward. It was a blast. I tell you, there's a lot of atmosphere in that building right now, and I'm hoping we're going to continue on to the next home game against Edmonton. But let's focus on the Montreal game. So, Jim Pock was down from the GM position to go to the sidelines for the Owls. It's, I guess, the 3rd time he's done this now, so everybody's saying that it should be back to business as usual in terms of how they were working under Mark Trestman. But we'll see. I mean, just because you've tried to go steer back the way it was before doesn't mean there'll be some stutter steps along the way. Speaking of stutter steps, they've just lost Jamal Richardson for the season. Now, don't get me wrong, I can't stand the Montreal Alouettes, but there's a lot of guys on that team that I'm a big fan of, and Jamal Richardson's one of them. The guy is just a hell of a performer, so it's a shame. It hurts the Owls, which of course helps the Argos, but frankly it hurts the league because that guy is a living highlight reel. So there's one less deep threat there for Montreal to be throwing to. Toronto, of course, can't take them lightly because there's still a lot of weapons on that offense. They got to keep an eye on SQ Green. There's rumors about Whitaker could be touch and go, but anytime you get Anthony Calvillo taking snaps, the team's got a chance. So the Argos got to make sure they pressure him. Nobody likes getting hit, of course, but Calvillo is almost 40, so he really doesn't like getting hit and doesn't like trying to get up after a hit. So the more contact they put on him, the less likely he's going to want to stay in the game. So again, you're looking at Khalif Mitchell to do what he was doing against BC. You're looking for what McCune was doing, who just, the hammer. What a great nickname. It's absolutely perfect because he's just dropping the hammer on people. He's owning the middle. Marcus Ball with the interception there last home game. He's going to make an impact as well. When that front seven can get pressure so that Calvillo's rushing throws are not getting them away at all, then you're going to see a much different Montreal offense, which only bodes well for our Argos defense. Now, for the double blue on the offensive side of things, Ricky Ray is back. There were some people saying that Collaros deserved another shot. There's also a lot of talk about him getting certain packages put together to keep him in the game and keep him in the rhythm, not to mention throwing off the rim of the opposing defense. I love that idea quite a lot. I mean, because right now, you've got to second-guess yourself. Every time they bring him in on 2nd and short, is he actually going to dive, or is there going to be some other offensive play? So I think you're going to see that play out a little bit this week as defenses are trying to accommodate for 2 very different styles at quarterback. But Ray's back. You know that deep ball is going to be a factor. He's got to be aware, of course, AJ Kowali, a former Argonaut, who had an amazing performance in the Grey Cup last year for the Double Blue, is now playing for Montreal. So that Angry Bird, we got to keep an eye on him to make sure he's not disrupting things, especially with Ray trying to get the rhythm back, although he's a class act who shouldn't have a lot of difficulty getting back into the rhythm of things. So I'm going to say that I think guys are going to want to watch this time around here. On the offensive side of the ball, of course, you're all going to be watching Ricky Ray to see how well he clicks, but Chad Owens is due for a big breakout game, and I think this might be the one. He's played well against Montreal in the past. He had an outstanding couple of games there last year. This could be his big breakout week for the season. We'll see how things play out there. And on the defensive side of the ball, again, Khalif Mitchell was playing so well. He might be the only guy that didn't want a bye week because he wanted to keep that momentum going. So I'm going to say keep an eye on Khalif Mitchell. I'm going to say, Mitchell on D, very, very disruptive, making Calvillo not want to play the game anymore. And keep an eye on Ricky Ray health-wise, but I think Owens will be the playmaker that you're going to see on the Argos offense this time around. So who to watch this week? Or sorry, who to follow this week? I'm going to go off the board here. This is going to may throw off a couple people off. People that know me won't be surprised. I want you to follow Rob Murphy at Big Murph 56. This is the retired CFL player who was the left tackle for the Argos when he retired. There's an old saying, some people call a spade. Well, Rob Murphy's going to call the thing a bloody shovel. Okay, he does not mince words. He'll call as he sees them. He's still following all the CFL games. So you follow him on Twitter during game time. You're going to see a lot of interaction in terms of what he's seeing on the field and fans that are trying and frankly failing to match him, to joust with him verbally there on Twitter. It's really funny because he'll tear you a new one verbally. But definitely follow Rob Murphy. Really entertaining. Knows the game inside and out, and will give you some insight on what's going on there. A great follow. So this week, what score to pick? Well, Argos are rolling. A lot of question marks in Montreal, so it seems like it's a natch to go for the Double Blue side. And who am I to vote against that? So I'm going to say the Argos win. And don't get me wrong. As much as I like EJ Kowali, I'm a big Byron Parker fan. I was really hoping he'd come back to Toronto. It didn't happen. But as much as I'm a big fan of those guys, I'm seeing a big day for the Argos offense. They're just kind of going to the opposite side of the field, right? So I'm going to say Argos 38, Montreal 21. All right? Argos 39, Montreal 21. It'll be a rouge. All right? So make sure you watch the game Thursday night kickoff coming at you from Montreal. Make sure you're tuning in on TSN if you can't be there. You know I will be. So until next time, this is Jube from 122 on Argos End Zone saying when we ride the rail, we ride it hard.